Hi, this is Terry. I've lost 180 pounds on a meat-focused, low-carb diet. I've managed to maintain since 2022. Stick around because I never know what adventure I'm on. Hey, so this video is going to be, it's just my sides for the week. So you'll see what I'm making, but it's going to include my salads that I have at lunchtime. It's going to include my my vegetable medley that I use at supper time. So, but to get it started, I got to cut up this rutabaga, and that is always an adventure. So come on, let's get this started. So to get my rutabaga started, I cut off the ends on both sides. And I use a paper plate to cut on. And the reason why is because this is so waxy. Well, that's one of the reasons why. It's so waxy. And so I don't want to get my cutting board all waxy because it sticks on there. And then later when I go to actually cut up the veggie, then the thing is all waxy. So I find that it's just, like I said, I use paper plate for this half the time anyway. But especially for this part, even if I was going to use my a cutting board, I would still do this part that I'm about to do over a paper plate. So in order to peel these, it's not horrible, but it's easier if you have a peeler with these jagged edges. And so I just go around and around and around and around and around. So I'll meet y'all back here when I'm done going around. So now I've got it peeled. And Miss Gloria sent me this meat cleaver. So I'm going to just kind of line this up. Tap it with the hammer. I don't do it all the way down if I can remember. And I will say sometimes I cut into these and there's just all kinds of black inside there. Rutabaga is something that you never know what you're going to get. So, all right, give me just a second. So once I have them cut in half with the meat cleaver, the rest of it is so much easier to cut it up. So I can just use a regular knife for this part. And from here, I just cut off any bad looking places. But first I'm just going to kind of cut it up a little bit. But rutabaga is extremely dense. And that's why it takes longer to cook than the other veggies. So that's why we're cutting up the rutabaga first. And so I'm going to go through and just cut it up into I'll just say bite-sized pieces. Because if it's bite-sized, then eating day Terry she won't be so complaining about having to cut it up into bite sizes. So anyway, so I'm gonna, I don't know, about like that. I'm gonna cut them up into sizes about like that. And I also go on to get the air fryer out, the crock pot out. Just a second. I have people ask me, what the heck is a rutabaga and why are you using rutabaga? So on my weight loss journey, now for my macros, I was able to use rutabaga as a potato replacement. Does it taste like a potato? No, not really. Does the texture like a potato? No, not really. But to me, I feel like it tastes better than like a plain baked potato. It's got a little sweetness to it, but yet somehow the macros are better. So it's like, I want to say like half of the calories and half the carbs, but you look it up. It's been so long, I honestly don't know. But the taste of a rutabaga is a cross between a cabbage and I think it's a cross between a cabbage and a turnip. But for me personally, I feel like the taste is a cross between, because to me cabbage is really bitter, or turnip is really bitter. So I don't get the turnip at all. I get more of a cross between a squash, like a butternut squash or acorn squash. I get more of that flavor than, so to me, it's almost like a mixture of a cabbage. You know when cabbage is cooked, it's kind of got a hint of sweet flavor. That's what it's like for me. Rutabaga is kind of like a combination of cooked cabbage and squash. So I can't really explain it. Thankfully, for me to try it the first time, where I live, rutabagas are $3 a piece. So I just bought the big one and hope for the best. And I really have enjoyed it. I have parboiled it and then made it into fries. I boiled it so long that it's mushed up. But rutabaga takes a long time to cook. So because it is so dense. So anyway, I'm going to go on and finish cutting this up. I'm going to put water in here, just covering the rutabaga, and I'm going to have it in the crock pot for 4 hours. So I lied. I'm actually going to do it for 3 hours because since I'm cutting it up into smaller pieces, I feel like maybe it will cook a little faster. Something I do want to say, I have a whole playlist dedicated to rutabaga. I was on such a rutabaga kick. So go to my main page on here, the main home tab, whatever you call it. And if you want to know about rutabaga, I have made it as like sliced, like fried potatoes, real thin. I've made it mashed. I've made it as a like a cottage pie. But now that there's lamb, I really want to make a shepherd's pie really bad. Now that I know I can buy lamb. So anyway, so let me stop jabbering. This will take forever. So I'm going to probably go a little below the line, add some water, and I'm going to cook it for 3 hours. And the reason why is then I'm going to add potatoes for another hour, and then I'll add the squash for an hour or two, and we'll see how all that works out. Y'all, I don't know what my aversion to high is on a crock pot, so it's kind of dumb. So I'm actually going to put this on high, and I'm going to check back with you in 2 hours. I know I keep changing my mind, but I don't usually use high, and I think I'm going to this time. So for real, I'm going to do 2 hours on high. You know, I tell you guys all the time that I used to not have to do all this meal prep work before I had, or whenever I was doing carnivore. So if you are a minimalist in the kitchen, you're going to want to just do carnivore. But right now, this is what I'm needing to do. So carnivore just really, it tastes great, but it just didn't work so well for me. So next up, I'm just going to slice an onion. I think everybody knows how to slice an onion. Wait a minute. What's going on here? I gotta be so hard on me. Alright. So anyway, I'm going to pull off the outer couple layers, and I'm just going to slice this onion. So I've got one onion cut up. I'm about to do the other onion. If I eat any raw onions, man, I love it to be red. Red is my favorite onion to have raw. So I'm going to go on and get this going. And I'm just going to put all the onions in here. I am planning on making a little bit of my cucumber salad, that Greek cucumber salad. So I'll save about half of this onion to cut up into small little bite-sized pieces. And I'll make that the first veggie that I put into there. So I've got this part of an onion in here. This is going to be ready for my cucumber salad. So I'll set this just kind of off to the side. I'm going to go ahead and make up our regular salads. And that consists of, I'm making 5. And that consists of 1 bag of tricolor coleslaw. So I just take it. And I just start putting some in each container. For the record, when I was on my weight loss journey, I weighed each time, okay? So I have changed now. I'm not really weighing things like I used to. And I seem to be doing okay with it right now. So I just kind of look at them and see if they all have about the same amount of cabbage. So then I say, okay, yeah, you could use a little more. So I do that, and then I plop in some red onion. I plop in some red onion. I keep a glove on, man, because that sure does stink whenever get your hands in the onions. Whoo, Nelly, you smell it for a couple days. I'm putting a lot of onions on here. Eating day, Terry might have some complaints, but she just needs to be thankful that she's getting food. You know what I'm saying? She needs to stop being so spoiled. All right, I'm going to keep a little bit of red onions in here because actually I'm going to put these into another container because I'm going to cut up the white onion and put that in here. But I do that. And next up, we're going to cut up some zucchini and squash because that's going to go in our salads too. I picked up a couple yellow squash because the green zucchini did not look so good. So what I'm going to do is I'll cut them in half long ways and then got to get it started. Just a second. In half long ways and then I cut them. And I'm going to do this with the zucchini and the squash and we're going to put it on our salad. Okay, so I'll put a little green and yellow. Actually, let me put a little green in each of them before I run out. There we go. And I'll put some yellow in each of them. I had people tell me before that they never really thought of eating yellow squash raw. I like it, but y'all don't do what I do because it might be disgusting. Y'all know I ain't got no taste buds after the vid. Everything tastes different after the vid, so don't be doing what I do because I'll have you doing something and you're going to be like, oh my stars, that's the nastiest thing I ever did. Nastiest thing I ever did in my life. I'll have you cussing me if you end up taking this to work and hating me. But now what I'm going to do is take me 2 paper towels and then the night before I take it to work, I will put some seasoning on it. I'll add me some cucumbers and some tomatoes. I don't put tomatoes on it yet because a lot of times the tomatoes, they get yucky in the refrigerator. And so, yeah. So anyway, so that's my salads. And I have people ask me what I put in my salads. And that is exactly what's going in my salad. So I'll try to remember Sunday night to show you all how I make my salad. So, or any other night. So, all right, I'm going to get these done. I do not care how many times I'm going to repeat this to you people, but if you do not go to my comment section, you are missing out. My comment section is where I learned you put a paper towel on your vegetables, whatever vegetable it is, you put a paper towel on the top, you put your lid on it, and you store it upside down, and that is how you store them, and any excess moisture is going to go onto that paper towel. And so when you open it up and you take the paper towel away, that takes away that excess moisture. So I'm telling you, watch my comments because you'll have little nuggets of wisdom like that. So see, I got my red onions in here, and I've got in this, put a paper towel in there, and there we go. And now whenever I open it up and take some out, I can swap out the paper towel if it's too moist, and that really lets things last a long time. Next up, you don't have to watch me. I'm going to cut up an onion. You don't have to watch me do that because there's so much other stuff I'm going to be doing that you're going to be watching. So I'm going to slice up this onion and I'll show you when it's done. They're a little too big for the britches, but hopefully the lid will go on. And once again, just like with the others, oh, is it going to work? It is going to work. This is actually a steam container that you use to steam your vegetables in the microwave, but I'm running out of containers for storing my veggies. It'll be all right. So, all right, so that's those onions. Next up, we're going to do some peppers. Hang on. Okay, so when I process my peppers, I push on the green stem. That's it, just the green stem, and then pull it apart. Now you got to be careful and slow, so it doesn't all fling out. And so the stem is where all the stem, and hang on, let me show you. The stem and the vein is where the seeds hang out. So see those down in there? Watch. They're gone because they were just resting there. But now this, on the other hand, hang on. See those seeds? They're hanging on because that's where the stem was. and that's a piece that did not come out with the stem. So now you see all those seeds? It's raining seeds. Hallelujah. It's raining seeds. Amen. All right. So now I'll show you one more. Just push on the green stem. I just use 2 thumbs to help me because I'm a weakling. So you just push that stem in. See? It's all the way in. Then you pry it apart very carefully. And then again, that's where most of the seeds are. Now there are some attached to the vein that runs in there. But now, watch. By the way, I'm just tapping it on my counter. I know you can't see that, but there they are. So, again, I'm just tapping. I don't want to do it too high because they won't go in. There's just one seed that was attached to that vein right there. So, one more and then we'll call it done because I don't want this to be... I have actually a short, like a video of me doing the peppers, like a little short video. You know how you can do those? All right, see that piece right there that's hanging on? That's got a little seed on it. I want you to watch. See? Watch. Pull this off. And there's your seeds. They're going. Then you tap it. The ones that are inside, they're only because it's wet. So there you go. So now I'm going to wash those and I'm going to cut them up and put them in here and I'll be back. Once you get them de-seeded, then it's ready for you just to cut, and cut. I see so many people trying to get fancy with them. Like, I don't know, like where they lay them out and stuff. You ain't got to do all that. Just pop that little booger out and then cut it in half. And then chop, 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 and chop. And there you go. So, all right, I got 3 more halves to do. And there you go. So I have some yellow onions that I did. Y'all saw me. And then these peppers, and I'll have them in my refrigerator. So if at some time I want to saute up some onions and peppers, I could do that. Or if I want to put these peppers on my salad, I could do that. So whatever I want to do, I can do with them. To add to my rutabaga later, I'm going to go ahead and get these things peeled. So I've got potato. I got my trash can right down here. I don't know if you can see it or not, but so I'm going to go ahead and get the white potato and sweet potato peeled. And I'll cut out those other skins that I missed in the end. So I'm going to go ahead and peel the sweet potato and the white potato, and I'll be right back. So my understanding is that potatoes go brown pretty fast. And so I'm going to go ahead and cut them both up and put them in here with some water. Because I hear that if you keep them submerged in water, they don't turn brown. And it's just a discoloration, and I don't care, but, you know, since I'm trying to do this on camera, I'm trying to be a little highfalutin. So, so I'm going to cut these, not quite as small of pieces as the root. Well, yeah, I will. That's dumb not to. So I'm going to cut these in bite-sized pieces, about the same size as the rutabaga. And then, and I'll do this and the sweet potato, and then I'll get them covered in water, and then we'll get cutting up the others. Well, I had too many to fit in this, so this is just going to go back up here and dry off, and this is, they're back here in this, oh, you can't see it. It's back here in this pot, because I use this for something else, so now they can just soak in that water until it's time to add them. So next up, I've never done one of these. I'm going to chop off each end, and we're going to try to peel. I mean, I've done one in the oven as spaghetti squash, but we're going to try it as regular squash. All right, I've cut off the ends. Let's see how this works. Well, it seems like it works fine. I just want that skin from the outside off. No, ma'am, that's not for you. It's kind of a rainy day, so I got a little girl that's kind of clingy today. I've given her storm medicine, but it has not kicked in yet, so she is rather clingy. She doesn't like storms, so it's not storming, it's just raining, but I think it does. I think when the storm's coming, she acts like she's hurting, like her head hurts or something. So anyway, I've given her medicine, but I don't know. I think it, you know, the barometric pressure probably does something to her sweet little head or brain. Alright, so now I'm going to finish doing this, and then we'll cut it in half and clean out the insides. Right, so now I'm just going to take this knife, let me try this way, straight down through it. Yep, it's like most squash, it has some seeds and stuff in there, so I've got this little special spoon, and I'm going to go ahead and scoop out the insides, and then we are going to cut it up. And what I do is I got a baggie, because I'm tired of, I don't want to dirty up more dishes. So I got a baggie, and that's where we're going to cut the rest of the squash. So I'm going to de-gut this, and I'll be back. All right, so that's how it looks. I'm super excited to find out. And it may string up and be a mess in the crock pot. And that's all right. I don't care. You know me, I like to experiment. So I'm going to chop this up into bite-sized pieces like the potatoes and the rutabaga. And I'm going to, I'll put this in the bag, and then I'll be back and we'll cut up the butternut squash and the acorn squash. I've cut off the ends of this, and now I'm going to use my peeler and get it all peeled. You've seen me do that with other stuff. You ain't got to watch me peel the butternut squash too. Hey, really quick, I forgot last time I did this. The peeler is this skin on the butternut squash is almost like jicama. It's very, very difficult to peel with a peeler. So I remember last time I did end up using my knife. But something I also want to say, this is a lecture time. So, you know, guys, if you don't spend time on your, if you don't spend time on your wellness, you'll be forced to spend time on your illness. So if you don't take the time, and this was something I learned the hard way, if you don't take the time to meal prep, to figure out what you need to eat in order to be healthy, you're going to be forced to deal with all the illnesses that come with not taking care of your body. So, you know, that's what I had. You know, I had my CPAP, and I had I had trouble breathing. I had to be on a diuretic. I had to be all the things that affect our body metabolically. And so if I had not taken the time to stop and change what I was doing, then I may not have even noticed that I was having a heart problem. I thought it was a GI problem, but I may not have even noticed that. And so I always felt like doo-doo. So I didn't really know whenever I was sick or not, other than if it was a sinus problem. So I'm just telling you all, that saying is true. If you don't take time to meal prep and to figure out what way is going to work for your health, if you can't take time to do that, then you're going to be forced to take your time when you have to have a heart bypass surgery, when you have to have stents put in your heart, when you have to have, you know, your fingers or toes amputated, or veins, new vascular systems put in surgically. If you don't stop once a week or whatever works for you, if you don't make time to do this, you're going to be forced to slow down, and by then it might be too late. So that's my lecture, and I'm going to finish peeling this one. Two things, in case you didn't know. The fat part, the bell part of the butternut squash, that's where its seeds and stuff are. That's number one. Number two, if you don't want to go through this, but you want butternut squash or a sweet potato, you can buy pre-cut in the produce section. I'm just too cheap to do it. So, because this one was $1 something a pound, and pre-cut was like $3 something a pound. So that's the difference. All right, that's the last of the butternut squash. I'll tell you what, I'm laughing as I'm filling this thing up. I already got the rutabaga over there. This is probably going to last me a whole month. I have no idea. I've not bought this many squashes to try before, but why not? It's fun. We'll see. But I will have to remember to put this in baggies for my servings, and not, because I won't have enough containers. I've been really thinking about how I'm going to do this one. What I think I'm going to do, because I think it's going to be very difficult to peel because it has the ripples. So what I think I might do, Well, I don't know. I just don't know. Cause see how it rubbles. I'm gonna go on and scoop out the guts, and then I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna do. I might just make a bunch of slices and peel it that way. But I gotta scoop out the guts, and then I'll be back. I don't know if my Walmart has pre-cut acorn squash or not, but I think that would probably be the smartest thing for me to buy, because this is gonna be a hot mess. I can try this a little. Ooh, I need to rinse that off. Hang on. I don't know if my Walmart has pre-cut acorn squash, but man, if it does, that would be a whole lot easier. Guess I'll just kind of cut and see what happens here, because it's easier to do it right here versus over the dealie, because I've kind of got some hold on it. So again, I have no idea what we're doing, so we're just going to do it. But for those of you, I know a lot of people will say, no, you cook it whole, cut it in half and cook it whole. And I get it. I've done that before, and that's really good. But for this experiment, I wanted to cut it up into bite-sized pieces like the other stuff, and see how it works. So anyway, I'm going to fight this, and I'll see you in about 2 hours. So this is how it ended up doing. What I did was I cut down into that little groove, and then that way, I'll show you. So then it's just those little pieces, and you just go zoop and zoop, and then it's gone. So that worked out really well. Here's the other one. Just go zoop. Maybe you have to do it twice, but that's all right. And then it's gone. So that worked out really well. So I got to cut this one, right? Like I said, right in the little groove if possible. And then you go, all right, fella, work with me here. Zoop, zoop. It's kind of slippery. It's like a little fish. Like a little eel. Get on my nerves. Oh, come on now. I'm going to slip and slice my fingers off. Just know that as long as you see a video uploaded, I have all my fingers and I didn't bleed too much. I may have gone up to the ER for cutting something, but if you're seeing the video, it'll be all right. Just know that I lived. That's what's most important, is that I lived. So, all right. Now I'm going to cut these up into bite-sized pieces, and then that will be the end of this. The Rutabaga has been going about 1 hour and 15 minutes. I'm up. Absolutely not. So, I'm here to tell you, now, while Rutabaga tastes really good, when you cook it, it's going to be like, it stinks like cabbage. That's what it does. It stinks like cabbage. So, you don't want to cook that before you got company coming over, because they're going to be like, oh, my stars, what you doing? It's going to stink. So, anyway, so this has at least 45 minutes, or it has 45 minutes. When that's done, I'm probably going to go ahead and add the potatoes for 1 hour. So it'll be in there for 1 hour, and I'll test it and see how it's all doing. But, because last time I put it all together for 4 hours, and the Rutabaga was definitely not done. The potatoes were more done than the Rutabaga. But anyway, so I'll be back and I'm just going to leave this little bag of the cut up veggies right there. And I'll be back in 45 minutes. This has been going for 2 hours now on high. So let's give it a poke. It's starting to be a little soft on the outside of it, which is good. So now we're going to just dump in this potatoes and the water that they're in. So there we go. And I'm going to, hang on, I got to, ow, shoot a monkey. All right, so now we're going to, it's still on, yeah, still on high. Now I'm going to set a timer for 1 hour, and we'll take a look and see where things are at. These dang things are a pain in the rear to peel. They make me so mad. I think I'm just going to cut it halfway through and see how if that helps me peel it. Like I've tried them, I bought them the past couple times, and originally I would just fight that peeling. But dadgum, it was a nuisance. It's the plastic peeling on the outside. So now I'm gonna see how that works. Oh, now this is the life. This is the life. Now let me chop off the ends here. Well, no, I only need one for what we're about to do. So we're going to make we're making our cucumber salad. So I wonder if I could find that little slice where I had it. Hey, kind of. There it is a little bit. See if I can follow that along, maybe. All right. Go, Terry. So now I'm going to chop off the ends here. I don't know why, but I just really like these cucumbers. I can't explain it. I don't know if it's because they're thin skin or what exactly it is, but I do really like them. So I'm going to cut it down into this, and then I'm going to cut this in half again. And so it's just going to be cut up to add to our onions that are right there. So I'm going to get these done, and I'll be back. Oh, by the way, I think this would be really good with black olives. I just didn't think about picking any up when I was at Walmart today. So if you have black olives, I think that'd be a wonderful thing to add. Yeah, I got them in and kind of stirred them up a little bit. I'm going to add some tomatoes. And like I said, you can add whatever your little heart desires. But this is what I'm going to add. So I'm going to cut these up. I know you all showed me that they're either, and I've seen it before, where you put a plate on top of a plate and you can slice through them. My plates are square, so I don't know if that would work. But I've already invested this knife to be in this paper plate. So anyway, but like I said, I really think black olives would taste amazing in this. Anyway, I'm going to cut up some more of these and I will be back. I think we all know that I like vinegar and I like all the vinegars. So that's what we're going to go with today. Oh, wait, I need the seasoning. Hang on. All right, so I am going to add a little bit of this dehydrated garlic. I'm just going to dump the rest of that in there. And this is Greek seasoning. So this is just the Greek seasoning that you buy in the store. I'm just going to add all that in there. Listen, you all know darn well that I do not measure. I just do. Now, if I was baking, I'd measure. But anyway, we're going in with some rice vinegar. Probably going to finish this off. It's probably about a 1/4 cup, maybe. And we're going to, got some red wine vinegar. This is my second favorite. My favorite vinegar is balsamic vinegar. Red wine is my second. I'm going to go on and finish this one up. This is probably about 3/4 of a cup, if not a full cup. Again, I'm just guessing. Don't write down the amounts I tell you. That's another red wine. So then we're going to add in some white wine vinegar. We're going to put in some apple cider vinegar. You don't have to use these, guys. There's all kinds of recipes online for a Greek cucumber salad. So you do what's going to work for you. I need to open this one up. Give me just a second. This is a malt vinegar. I've not tried this one yet, so we're going to put a little more. Oh, yeah. Put a little of that on there, too. It's kind of, I'm not going to say this, almost like a savory vinegar. I don't know how, that's the only way I can say it. Anyway, then we're going to have, there's my favorite. My top favorite is balsamic. Oh, yeah, buddy. Balsamic vinegar to the rescue. And then I'm going to do a splash of lemon juice. Just great value lemon juice. I don't know why I need it, but I'm doing it. One of the recipes called for it. You could use olive oil, but I just have avocado oil. So I'm going to put just a little drizzle of that in there just to give it a little something something. Now, I done lost the lid for this little container. Oh, it's up there on top of that. All right. Now I'm just going to taste the liquid part. Because this is one of those things that you got to let marinate for a couple days before you eat it, okay? So it's one of those things you make on a, you make on a Saturday so you can start eating on Monday. Let's see if we find out. Perfection. Oh man, I love vinegar. Y'all. When I was a kid, there's this song. Oh, how I love Jesus. Oh, how I love Jesus. Well, I'm singing. Oh, how I love vinegar. Oh, how I love vinegar. Oh, how I love vinegar. Because it tastes so good. Anyway, so there you go. That's how I'm making my cucumber, my Greek cucumber salad. And for the record, this recipe will change every single time I do it. It'll be a different seasoning or more of a seasoning, more of a vinegar, less of a vinegar. This is how I'm doing it this week anyway. When I eat the cucumber salad, I sprinkle the feta cheese on top of it. You can also put it in there. I have before. The reason why I don't always is because I want a little more control of how much feta cheese is in each serving. So by doing just the salad and then sprinkling some on, I feel like I have a little more control over it. So I think this is probably not going to work. I think this is going to be too much. But let's just pour until it's full. Because you know me, I'll try to get it all in there and see what happens. It's been another hour. So the potatoes have been in there for an hour. And the rutabaga however long. Don't ask. I try to tell you before I set the timer. So now we're adding squash. I'm not going to add any more water. Let's see if the lid will go on it somewhat. Hang on. Let's see. Nope. It's just going to sit on the top. Wait a minute. Let me spin her. Let me see what I can do here. No, I don't think it's going to go down. Anyway, so I'm going to set a timer for 1 hour. And so we will keep the squash in it now for 1 hour, and we'll see how that goes. All right, let's take a look. I think it definitely, is that a oxymoron? Anyway, for sure needs to go longer. So I'm going to reset the timer for 1 hour. Y'all know dang well I can't remember how long I set that timer. I think maybe an hour, but it's been a while. Ooh, it's not it's still stiff, but I think I want to stop. Oh gosh, somebody's at my door. Sorry, it startled me. Oh, now the dogs are going to go nuts. Hang on. Okay, sorry about that. It was the mailman. He had a package. So I can go into it. Well, this one's a little, the dark orange, I think was that the acorn squash? I don't remember. Some of them are easier to go into than others. And part of me is like, well, that's okay because I'm going to be microwaving it. But I think I'm going to stop it. So I'm going to turn it off. And I'm actually in the middle of doing something. So I'm going to cover this up and let it sit. I'm actually vacuuming. So put that down somewhere. Somebody better put that on your calendar. Today, Terri is vacuuming. But I'm going to put this lid on it and let it sit just covered, turned off for about an hour. It's been cooling a while, and now I'm going to pour this into my colander, and I'll be right back because I want to kind of get all that extra moisture out of there. So I'll be right back. I'm actually going to run some cold water on that to kind of help it cool down because I don't want it to keep cooking. Okay, so I opened a whole bunch of these little Ziploc bags because, like I said, this go around, I'm not going to use containers. So I'm just going to put some in here. It's still smoking a little bit. But what I'll do is I'll nuke it. You know, I eat it for supper. So I'll put it like in a bowl or something and microwave it and maybe add a little water to it or something. So it's honestly too hot to taste. Let me see. I think that's a rutabaga. Good texture. Good texture. Let's try white potato. That's good. The squashes are definitely soft. That's good. That's fine. Oh! I want to see if I can figure out which is the spaghetti squash. Hold on. Hang on. I would bet that whichever, this is the spaghetti squash. Look how it's kind of trying to become mush. So, it's all right. Fun experiment. I probably, in doing this again next time, I will probably, just to save myself from having to fight with peeling, I'll probably not do the acorn squash, but I'm okay with the other squashes. I'm gonna run some cool water on it because it's warming up again. I'm getting to the middle. But yeah, I think I would not do the acorn squash and not do the butternut squash because I'm pretty sure that's the one that's mush. Like this one, it's soft. And when you push on it, it's mush. Anyway, it's all right. It's fun. I think this is the acorn squash. That one was kind of a yellow. All right, I'll be back in a little bit. My mama called me, so we talked while I was doing this. I mean, no, I take that back. I called my mama. Anyway, so here it is. Let's see how many we have before I freeze them. Hang on. Just a second. Let me dump them all off. Hang on. What I like to do, hang on, let me just set you all up here. What I like to do if I'm going to be putting it in Ziploc baggies, I set them on a tray, so then this can go in the freezer, and then the freeze flat, and then I can stand them up if I want to. So 1, 2, 3, 4, some have more than others, but that's all right. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I'm going to say again, I do feel like next time I will not use a spaghetti squash. I will probably have the squash cooked not 2 hours, have it cooked a little less because I feel like the squash overall is a little too mushy. Not too mushy if I was going to eat it right now. But since I'm making it for meal prep and then I'm going to be microwaving it, it's better to have things a little more on the al dente side. But that's all right. It'll still eat. It'll still taste good. But there you go. So now we're going to pop this in the freezer. And when it's all done, I'll have however many I said. I think 15. I have 15 sides for supper.